Get to timestamp 0. This is Dawn of the Dead 2004. In 3, 2, 1, play. Now this is, to borrow from Red Letter Media once more, this is, the original is the independent film of this story. This is the Hollywood blockbuster version.
So, my copy of the movie on Prime started with an FBI warning.
Oh.
And a rated R banner.
Yeah, mine didn't have that.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a rental.
Right now, I'm looking at a skull.
Yes.
I've never seen it. I've never seen anything streaming do that.
Yeah, me neither. That's
this movie has a very specific look, and I don't want to say it's a 2000s look, but there are scenes where I'm like, that is very 2004.
I think it's 2000s. It's very oversaturated. It's got bright colors, but it's not the worst I've seen from that era. From my perspective, it's weird because that's, just when I grew up watching new movies, and I wasn't like aware of it then. But now, being removed from it and going back, it's like, oh, it stands out in a way it didn't then.
So I really like Sarah Polley in this, and I've only seen her in one other thing, Splice, which is a very strange movie. But she's good in it. And that also has Adrian Brody.
A little more,
But I like how we kind of set it up here, right? From a bite?
Yeah. This is the more conventional way to start a zombie movie, where it's the slow build-up. We're not dropped into a room of people arguing.
No, but I will say once we get to the real opening, one of the greatest openings of any film, I think. I love it.
It's great.
I love the fake out here.
I am a little surprised I've never seen this because I'm a gun fan.
Yeah.
And, I think the screenplay is fine. I don't think it's his best work. I think he just improves as a screenwriter as he goes throughout his movies. But I do like this movie. I did have an interesting viewing of this, though, on my rewatch, because I did see this as more of a gun film than a Zack Snyder film.
But I think there's a lot of Snyderisms in this.
There is. But specifically, certain music choices and montages where I was like, oh, that feels very gun. Though I'm aware, I think there are some songs he wanted in the movie that he couldn't get or were changed. I need to look.
I know. I think he wanted to use people who died in this.
Which is in this. It is at the very end.
Yeah, but I mean in the actual movie.
I think you're right. I think he wanted to use it in the opening. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe. Personally, if you're talking about during the opening credits, I think the song they picked is a better choice.
It's a good one.
Why did he have his shoes on in the bed and his wife had to take them off?
Because he's a man, Hayden. That's what men do.
I've never done that.
You've never been a man?
No.
I hate wearing shoes in bed. I think it's extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, no, I immediately don't like this guy.
No, my dad would go to bed still wearing boots. And just sleep like that. I'm like, how?
I have been so tired that I left my jeans on and I just fell asleep, but
yeah, that makes sense.
And then I wake up, I'm like, why do I have jeans on? What is wrong with me? The Last of Us.
So, I've mentioned this before, but so I saw this. This is the first scene that really freaked me out because we're gonna get the zombie girl, and I was like 13 or 14, but I was still getting into the genre. This freaked me out so much it altered my brain So when I got this on home media, I would fast forward past this because in my head, it was just like I don't like this.
When I was probably 11 or 12, I saw Halloween the first time, and the Michael Myers mask scared me so much I couldn't see pictures of it for like a year.
Oh. And then it's funny when I finally did just watch it all the way through. I was like, oh, that's not that bad. What the fuck?
Yeah. I do have a question, John. Riddle me this: did they leave the front door unlocked? How did this girl get in here?
Magic.
Oh,
Personally, if
was...
a girl walks into my room like and her lips are missing, I'm not going near that. But that's a Snyder shot.
Yep. Well, it's funny how the slow mo in this movie is both restrained and not restrained, because when it happens, it's always very brief like that. You don't get any long slow mo sequences, but he will do it a lot,
Yeah.
where a shot will be slow mo for no reason. Like it's you could tell it's in him. He's got that itch for it.
One thing I do appreciate with Gunn's scripts is the bites are inconsistent as the original movie.
I think in this guy's case, the idea is just like this is just a fatal wound. Like whether he was infected or not, it's like she just took a pretty big piece
And
out
that
of his
is,
neck.
I love that shot where it's just in the background that he gets up.
Who?
Um, the zombies in this do kind of have that unfortunate feeling of being cannon fodder.
Mm-hmm. That's a great stunt. When she falls back into the bathtub.
Yeah.
That's a great shot.
No, this is, I still think, one of the best ways to open a viewer into the madness that's going on.
Unlock the window.
I also wouldn't be surprised if this was an influence on the opening of The Last of Us, because that feels like
this is such
strong.
A movie decision.
Yeah, no. Well,
what are you doing?
Yeah, it's her husband. Maybe he's okay, but
no,
leave.
Yeah, that feels like a movie thing. Like we got to build tension.
Well, you know what it is. I
remember The Shining.
Yes. I don't know if you calling it plot armor is a stretch, but there are scenes like this where it's like, oh, she gets away because she's the protagonist. If it was any other character, she'd be dead in 2 seconds.
We're about to get to one of the greatest shots of this movie.
This whole sequence is awesome.
Yeah.
No, just the wide shot. Although, Robert, do you have the question that I do is, how did you sleep through this?
That is a valid question.
This is also a really small detail that I like a lot. He is chasing her until he gets distracted by something else.
Yes, and that's great because you never see him again. There's no like catharsis for him. It's just he's chasing her, and then he gets distracted and kills somebody else. And
I think
that's all you get.
John, I think you've sent me that before.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a great GIF.
GIF. GIF.
I refuse to believe it is called GIF. If you wanted it to be called that, you should have labeled it with a J, not a G.
That's my son, GIF.
It's short for Jiffrey.
Jiffrey. It's
just
my son, Jiffrey.
This zoom out shot.
What?
The zoom out shot. You know, the movie we're doing a commentary on.
No, we're talking about Jiffrey.
Oh,
I'm not. The funniest thing is this movie takes place in Wisconsin.
For no good reason.
No. I like to think that Gunn just thought that would be funny.
This is probably the best movie that takes place in Wisconsin. Then
That's correct. That's a horrifying shot.
Oh yeah, Milwaukee. Ugh.
No.
There's a YouTube video that's like the best horror movie in every state.
Oh.
And
that's a fun gimmick.
I remember that being a fun video. For Illinois, they picked Candyman, and I don't.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah,
Candyman's great.
Candyman's great, but I feel like there's got to be more than that.
No.
Well, I prefer Child's Play to Candyman.
Ooh, I don't agree with that. I love Child's Play.
John, on a rewatch, I was like, oh, that bit's kind of an homage to the original movie when the car goes downhill and crashes, like with Barbara in the original.
I never thought about that. That's a good point.
I like these opening credits a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love just like, is this a health hazard? Or we don't know.
Well, it's a mix of, footage from this movie and scary stock footage.
Yeah. And this is the first time I hear Johnny Cash.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love this song.
It's great.
I do too.
Kids today would know this as the song at the end of Logan.
Oh, I forgot that's in that. I just associate that movie with Hurt.
Because of the trailer, yeah.
No, I always associate the song with this movie. I don't know if this fits this tone of this movie, but I think this is a better choice than The People Who Died.
Oh yeah, no, this is I like these opening. Honestly, just on like a first thing, this and Watchmen I think might be tied for like best Snyder opening credits.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, the opening credits of Watchmen is one of my favorites ever.
Well, I was always kind of disappointed with his DCEU movies that he didn't really do much like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like BVS kind of has something like that, but it's not as good.
Well, and Man of Steel's trying really hard to be a Nolan movie. Oh, and there's Snyder. He's one of the soldiers there.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, yep, I see him.
Yeah. Once you know he's there, he's very obvious. I just read he had a cameo in this.
James Gunn.
Yeah.
The man.
It blew my mind when I realized that Gunn wrote this and Snyder directed it, which I think is hilarious now.
But like, they like each other. It's just the fans.
I know. It's just really hilarious with the current state of the DC movie fandom. I really want Gunn to get Snyder to do a movie just to see how many heads would explode.
He should do Man of Tomorrow.
Oh.
Snyder should do I unironically would prefer Snyder to do Brave and the Bold over Muschietti, so
Yeah. So
I agree.
It's weird that this movie is so focused on we're just gonna take that plot and do the same thing. But Ving Rhames feels like he's supposed to be Peter from the original, like.
Yeah, he's not. Like, he has a different name, but he's
the only one that is kind of a one-to-one. Everyone else is either a new character or I can point to like bits of characterization from the original in them. Like the main girl is obviously supposed to be like the stand-in for Fran. This also might be the first movie I see Ving Rhames in, and he's probably my favorite character in this movie.
He's great.
I quote that "fuck y'all" like every time, all the time. I also really like what's that guy's name? Jake Weber. I don't remember his character's name, but
yeah, I do like him in this. I don't know if I've seen him in anything else, but he's good.
So He is in, and I've never watched it, but my mom loves it. That show, The Medium, with Patricia Arquette. I know he's in that. Um, this movie does kind of have that problem of we have to have like twice as many characters because we have to up
Yes.
the body count.
Yeah, that's one of my gripes with this movie is I do think there are too many characters later.
Well, because we'll introduce what you would think is the core cast, and then they'll go, just kidding, here's more.
This is off topic, but I just got a notification that I missed the I forgot about the screening of The Room that was happening. That was yesterday. I missed it.
Oh,
With To Meet Greg Sestero, I missed it.
that's
Tragic.
unfortunate.
Damn.
The Mall.
Spoilers.
So, one thing we should talk about up top is, of course, this comes out in the midst of the big zombie resurgence. And even if it's not technically a zombie movie, you could say 28 Days Later really kind of kicks that off in '02.
I love
And
this
then-
shot where you think he's normal and then he turns around and just missing an arm.
Yes.
So,
Uh,
this is like, because I grew up in the mid 2000s. This is what I think of malls looking like.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's also an interesting contrast with the first one. Because there's just like 25 years or so difference, and it's like, oh yeah, like this to me is what a mall looks like,
Yes.
and this is what a mall looks like in 2025 because it's empty.
Correct.
But also, what I was saying earlier too is I think coincidentally this comes out the same year as Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
So
I
04 is
I thought Shaun of the Dead was 05.
no, that's 04.
Okay.
Though it may not have been released in the States until 05. I don't know when it got its American release, but I know that's a 04 movie. They might have, I think they might have pushed it back a bit just to avoid confusion with this.
So I don't want to. I'm gonna fact check the subtitles. So when he cocks that shotgun, my subtitle said "rifle cocks loudly." That is a shotgun.
Not a rifle.
Shaun of the Dead came out in September of '04 here in the States.
Okay, so that's like 6 months after this comes out, I think.
Yes, because this was a summer movie. This was March, which is a weird release date, but okay.
Yeah, and then so John, correct me if I'm wrong. Is the success of this movie what gets Land of the Dead the green light, or is that like is he already really making that win? Because I think he is like an executive producer on credit on this. Like
That's what I've heard. They were like, "Oh, zombies are back. Get the zombie guy."
Because that's only a year after this. That's 05.
You know,
It's Land of the Dead.
this is another thing I think of when I think of this movie. Is just the green tent that is all over this
Yes.
mall section.
Well, it's 04. It's just the 04 color.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, I also think of like the Michael Bay movies have a very similar look.
This kind of.
From
This
this
is
era.
reminding me of a Bay movie, but like not in a bad way.
Yeah, like this looks. Some of these shots look very Bad Boys too. With the,
Bay and
with
Snyder
colors.
definitely have some things in common. I find I prefer Snyder overall. Like, even when he's stupid, I can take it somewhat seriously. Where Bay, I think, just at points devolves into schlock nonsense that is irritating.
What about Ambulance?
I haven't
I've
seen
not
that.
seen Ambulance.
Neither have I.
I just love how Big Rave's like, no.
Okay.
I,
Yeah, I was gonna
What's your-
say.
are you watching the different cut, John?
I don't think so. What?
Because Hayden, so right now I'm looking at the guy with he's looking at the mop on the ground.
Yeah,
Oh, weird. Okay.
I'm at 2008. How
I'm
long
at-
is your movie, John?
All right, hold on. Maybe I put in the wrong Blu-ray.
Yeah, like the theatrical cut is an hour 40.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, god damn it. I put in the wrong Blu-ray. Hold on.
Oh,
I'm glad you said something, Hayden, because I was like, wait, am I?
Alright, hold on.
What?
do you
It's
want us
fine.
to pause it?
I'm debating if I want to get up and switch now. No, it's fine. I'll just get a timestamp.
Yeah, you said Ving Rhames, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, like that's not Ving Rhames. Oh my god.
Oh,
Ow.
I think I made my point.
Oh, no one's around to hear me say that.
That's the most I don't know what a gun is gun shooting I've ever seen.
Now shoot him again. Or just run. Okay.
Shoot him!
Yeah, and then it's also interesting that we do have a pregnant character in the script, but otherwise no way the same character. We just have a pregnant lady again.
Malls still look like this because they've never been updated.
Exactly. Oh my god. It's Steve Lombard from Man of Steel,
Oh no.
the guy with the mustache.
Yeah. He's somebody else. What's that actor's name?
Um let's check. I think his character's name is CJ.
Dad's name.
Michael Kelly.
Okay.
Oh, he's in House of Cards, so if you've seen that, that's oh, he's in Sopranos too. All right.
That's
Lots of stuff.
probably it.
What's the timestamp?
23:35.
Yeah, this transfer immediately looks way less sharp. Yay.
Yay. I'm looking up what I've seen that guy in. He's in Sopranos, but I haven't gotten that far in
Okay.
Sopranos.
Hang on. What's the timestamp again?
24 even.
All right, tell me when you're at 24:43.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
They're watching TV and looking real sad.
Oh, Robert, he's I just lost the name. He's Johnny Vitti in The Penguin.
Oh, okay, that guy.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah, that's
didn't
right.
realize.
Yeah, we were talking about there's like a CJ, yeah. That's Johnny Vitti.
Are you,
24:43 now.
it's a fucking nursery school. See, Robert, this is why we should have just done the uncut version.
Maybe.
No.
There's
We're not
Tom.
doing it now.
There's Tom Savini.
When he first showed up, I was like, Mark Maron? No, that's Tom Savini.
No, this is where I really like how they do this, but we're gonna get all of our cameos out of the way and
Yeah, they're good cameos. Tom Savini one's great. Puts on glasses dramatically.
So they're gonna say that's a bite. That looks like a
Doesn't
cut.
look like a bite. Yeah. I think the idea is it's just a little bite.
Yeah.
Just a little one.
There's Roger.
Yes. He is now old enough to look like his corpse version at the end of Dawn of the Dead. Happy to see him. Why is she sad?
Oh.
The security guard's a dick.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is one of my favorite characters by the end of this, though.
And I noticed on my rewatch, like, oh, this is borrowing more from the first film, the Night of the Living Dead, than Dawn of the Dead. Like, you have the mall setting, but this is a more Night of the Living Dead story of, like, all these people just bickering, stuck together.
Well,
I think
it's more of just that's kind of what the genre became. Everybody does the Dawn rules, but the night story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this is closer to that.
But you do get some of that like peaceful coexistence.
Yes. We get a token montage later. Also, naming that one area Metropolis, it's like, did Gunn just do that because he likes Superman? It's like, fuck it.
I am the only person who will ever have this problem, but I find it endlessly distracting that someone's named CJ in a movie.
Oh.
Okay.
No, that's my dad's name. It's oddly specific, like
Oh.
to me.
How do you feel about people named BJ? That always seemed like a mistake.
Yeah, that is a mistake.
Maybe don't go by that.
I had a friend.
People named BJ are a mistake. Hayden 2025.
Well, if your name's Blowjob, then good for you. But I don't.
I like that they're proactive and like trying to get out of here. It's not quite like the original where they just hunker down.
I like this idea too of them painting all these signs to try to attract attention.
Yeah. Now there is I don't know if it made it over onto the 4K, but they actually made like a special feature on the DVD or maybe the Blu-ray of Andy, who we'll meet later, his side of the movie.
Oh, cool. We used to do fun shit like that in the mid 2000s. That was kind of the sweet spot.
Yes, it is on this copy.
That I missed.
Oh, he's right there.
Like that. Yeah.
Do you have John? Do you have Tucker and Dale on Blu-ray?
I do not.
The Blu-ray has a special feature where it's that movie, but they edit Tucker and Dale out of it.
Oh, how's that work?
It's just like it's just what the college kids see.
That's amazing.
It's peak. I think it's like 20 minutes long.
Hey, you might want to take those like bloody clothes off. That's probably not very comfortable. I love this like withdrawal. Like you see all the signs.
Yes. That's a great shot. I wish it just kept panning back even more. It just gets ridiculous.
I still haven't seen Army of the Dead.
You don't need to.
Yeah.
Is it bad?
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
I
but
was so excited. Snyder's going back to like zombies. Because I think this is his best movie. It's gonna be on Netflix, so there won't be any like director's cut bullshit, and then it's one of the ugliest movies I've ever seen.
And then he does Rebel Moon, and those have director's cuts, even though they're both Netflix exclusive.
That felt like on purpose.
Yeah, like
Yeah, that was...
you can probably count on one hand the amount of Snyder movies that don't have an extra cut, like the Man of Steel. Probably the Owl movie. I don't know if that has another cut. Is that it?
Oh, because it's here's Ken for you.
Yay! This is how you do a callback line.
Yes.
It helps when you just have the original actor saying it.
And it's in a completely different context, which is fascinating.
That's the most fun cameo. Having him play this TV evangelist, and then he gets to say the big line.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, and it's funny too, Robert, because that starts with this movie. His first movie has a director's cut.
Yep.
Or an unrated cut.
Is this his first movie?
Yeah.
I think so.
This is his first movie.
Because he did what, like music videos before this?
Something like that, yeah. No, I do think this is his best movie. I like all of his movies, except I haven't seen that Owl movie until he goes to Netflix. And then I don't think his Netflix... I couldn't even finish Rebel Moon.
How's that show he did,
started.
that animated show?
I do need to see that, but it got canceled, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to...
What's it called? Something Gods, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I've not watched it.
It sounded interesting to me, but I didn't...
No, I thought that was a great project for him, just like an animated Norse thing. This is like really funny. I know that they're playing it for comedy, but it works. Where he just puts his belt on and then puts the hat on. And he's standing there.
Twilight of the Gods.
Yeah.
Twilight of the Gods. Oh yeah. Yeah, that just kind of came and went.
It did. Then it got canceled.
His first music video was in '89.
Oh. I mean, that makes sense. As much as I do like his DC films, I do worry that was the worst thing that could have happened to his career. Because I feel like he really started to buy into his own hype of like making deep films.
You know, and you and I don't agree on that. I think only one of his DC films is even decent. But because I am of the camp that BVS is hot trash.
It's okay to be wrong.
And Justice League is too long and really up its own ass, and
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. That is the most like popcorn movie Snyder film since maybe this one.
I don't think the Snyder cut is.
Uh,
And then
I like this whole exchange with them.
Mm.
Ving Rhames is just like an underrated.
I don't know that I've seen him in anything else.
Well, you really need to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
Mission Impossible.
Hell yeah. You also need to see Piranha.
Yes.
Piranha.
I forget, is he the sheriff in that?
Yes.
Okay. Because he's a very similar character to this guy. But you gotta see him
I-
fight piranhas in that movie. It's awesome.
I don't quote this scene mostly because I would inevitably get it wrong, but I think about his reply. Oh wait, is that not in this version?
Which bit? Like,
So he's gonna have that. So the other guy had that confession, and then Ving Rhames is supposed to go. Oh, I get it. You're like feeling guilty. So why don't you go in the stall, wipe your ass 3 times, and say your Hail Marys? Is that not in this cut?
it is. I think we just talked over it.
Well,
I-
Hayden kept yapping about BVS, so yeah.
That's true.
I do know I was incorrect. I have seen a Ving Rhames film. He's in Lilo and Stitch. He's Cobra Bubbles.
Oh
that's
yeah.
true.
He's in the Day of the Dead remake.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, for one thing, they're driving a truck.
So this is the part of the movie where you're like, okay, we're 30 minutes into this. We've got like our core group of characters we're gonna follow. Oh, now here's a whole truckload
Yeah.
of new people.
To be fair, some of them in the truck I do legitimately like.
I do too. I think I'm getting ahead of myself, John, but I think the guy and his daughter, I think, should have been part of our main group from the get-go.
I just don't know where you'd fit them in.
Just have them with the group.
Yeah.
Bing Rhames and her stumble across.
I don't know. I'm fine with the way it works. I like that by the end it's a nice mixture of the 2 groups. Or 3 groups,
Oh my God.
arguably.
I think there are a lot of side characters who just don't get enough to do, or you just forget about.
Well, see, I never forget about anyone. Some of them are just there.
Well, there's a blonde lady that just shows up later where I was like, oh, I didn't know. Like,
Oh,
I keep track of how many people.
Oh, see, I never forget her because she has some of the weirdest scenes. And I don't know that actor's name, but he ended up being Doc Samson in The Incredible Hulk. This is the first thing I see him
that guy,
in.
no.
And I guess he's like a sitcom actor, but to me, he's just like the jackass that's in this movie.
Yeah, he's the Modern Family guy.
And I appreciate
Oh.
that he's not a like misunderstood jackass. No, he's just a jackass in this movie.
Well, this movie is full of stock characters. We already have the jackass who's going to redeem himself later.
That didn't look great.
No. There's some shoddy CGI here and there.
This is better than the last. This is way better than the last 2000s horror movie John and I watched for the channel.
28 days. Oh,
30 Days a Night.
30 Days of Night. Yeah.
That was bad.
No, that movie is just mid.
I think that was the most I've wanted a movie to be over on the channel.
Dude, that's a shotgun. I don't know what you think that's gonna do, but
He'll be good.
This is also one of those movies where our protagonists will pull off headshots very quickly.
you know, it's an action movie. That's fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Speaking of side characters that I would have, speaking of side characters I would have cut. I don't know if you'd need this lady, except for she's gonna be what confirms that it's the bite.
Mhm.
Also, that old guy might be the most 2000 stereotype in this movie. We've got a Polar Nights in the Twitch chat that says, as a barber, I love the show. It's every stage of beard growth. Excellent. No, what's that guy's name? Is it Ty Burrell?
Ty Burrell, yeah.
I love him in this movie. He's such a dick.
Phil Dunphy.
I don't know what that means.
He's Modern Family, the dad in Modern Family.
I haven't seen that.
I know him from two things: Modern Family and a Key and Peele skit where he plays a Nazi.
That's not true. You know him from 3 things. We
Listen,
just said he's in The Incredible Hulk.
Oh. Forgot. And I like that movie more than most people seem to.
I like that movie quite a bit. I think it's by default the best Hulk movie.
Well, yeah. People like 03, but I just can't.
03 is boring. That movie's up its own ass.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck y'all.
Aquafina is the worst bottled water, by the way. I don't know how people drink that.
I thought you were talking about the lady for that. I was like, what? Oh, okay.
I hate Aquafina.
Jesus Christ. And it's really surprising to me that in an action movie, we're going to have this kind of like weird long distance pen pal thing and it works.
No, this is one of my favorite original ideas of this movie. Just this stranger across the street that they do.
Well, and it's funny too because I think they took that scene of Ken Foree playing like tennis. James Gunn saw that scene and just was like, let's make that a subplot. And I know this guy, the dad that here.
That is Matt Frewer.
Yes. He's in also, isn't he in The Stand? The one that we watched? I think that's the Trash Can Man, yeah. Trash Can Man is peak.
He is.
We gotta get Hayden to watch The Stand.
Oh no.
It's only 6 hours.
No.
Oh.
No. I don't watch movie.
Well, good thing it's not a movie, it's a TV miniseries.
No, I definitely don't watch miniseries.
Why?
No.
And Tucker, Robert, I don't know if you have this, but he really reminds me of like discount Robert Englund.
I can see that. I like Tucker a lot.
Tucker's great. I think that's an actor I also know.
Yeah, I was gonna check that.
This woman is not doing very well, by the way.
She's freaking out.
No, they probably should have left her outside. If we're being
yeah.
honest.
All right, now cut her head off.
That is Boyd Banks. He's in Diary of the Dead as White Man. Oh, he also has a bit part in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. This is kind of scary.
Oh, that's what you know him from. He's in Jason X.
Yes,
Oh.
he's the pilot. The one in the
Okay.
cowboy hat.
Yep. I was like, I know that dude's face from something.
There's
she's
something
really
that's
good.
always been really scary about that zombie running. Because I don't think that woman would have been able to run like that if she was alive.
Why, John?
I'm not saying.
Okay, so this guy's in like all of the Dead movies after this.
Yeah. I like to think that Romero just really liked him in this movie.
And he's in Left of Dead.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I thought it said Left 4 Dead.
I was very confused. But I wonder if when this movie is being made, if I wonder if it's during like pre-production of this movie when Romero's like, I haven't done a zombie movie in a while. I should do another one. Like I wonder if it's the making of this movie that gets him thinking about
Yeah, I don't know.
making another one, and then it's a hit, and it's like, okay, go do it. Here's some money. Because unfortunately, in the last chunk of Romero's career, this is all he gets. You're the zombie guy. You make zombie movies.
I really wish he'd stopped after Land.
Did he keep going?
Yeah, so he made 2 more, Diary of the Dead, which I've now made Robert watch, might be one of the worst things I've ever had to sit through, and Survival of the Dead, which is slightly better.
But there is a scene in Diary of the Dead with an Amish dude, and it's like for 5 minutes that movie's a masterpiece. And that's all you need to watch.
I like this scene where this guy is determined to do the right thing, and Anna's like, I forget, is it her name Anna in this? Yeah. She's like, just do it then, and he can't. Because a lot of the times you just get that guy's like, I'm gonna do it, and then he just does it. This feels more human.
I'm gonna do it.
I like it too. It's one of the parts of the movie that I just find a little rushed. I wish we spent more time with this father-daughter dynamic leading up to this, which is why I think they should have been part of the core group at the start. Because we've hardly seen them at all.
I mean, I don't know. I don't need it to be fleshed out to understand that a daughter doesn't want her dad to die.
I would have liked to have spent more time with them, and also the movie's gonna pretend she's a main character for the rest of this, but she's like always in the background. But spoiler alert, she'll also do some really stupid shit.
Oh,
but I think the movie
we'll talk
like
about it because I think that one of the things she does towards the end is insane.
Yep.
But also, I know people that would do that, so...
Sure. I'm not even saying it's unrealistic. I'm saying, like, the movie treats her like she's a main character, but she's in the background for most of it.
I think she's
setup for that.
More just... She's important because she's connected to one of the...
Yeah, but I don't care about that guy.
I love that guy.
Love that dude.
Yeah.
What's his name, John?
Terry.
Take your word for it.
Would I lie?
No, it's CJ, Terry, and I don't know the third guy because, spoiler alert, he doesn't matter. Also, sorry, Hayden, I know we're kind of spoiling parts of this, but you remember how we talked about, like, in a normal zombie movie, Flyboy would be the guy that goes crazy because he's feeling insecure?
Yeah.
That's this guy.
Well, thanks for spoiling the movie, John.
It's not my fault you've never seen a movie.
I don't think not seeing the Dawn of the Dead remake is a, like, indictment on my film knowledge. You know, like...
It is, yeah. It's a James Gunn movie. It's Snyder's first movie. It's a remake of a masterpiece.
I don't know. Hayden, how do you feel about this? Like, we're treating this like this really heavy emotional moment. Like, it's fine. I would have liked more setup.
Yeah, I don't.
Robert needs setup to believe that a girl would be upset that her dad's about to be executed.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how you feel as an audience. I would have, and Matt Frewer's great. Like, for the few seconds he gets, he's great. I wish I spent more time with him in this movie, 'cause then I'd be more emotional.
I don't know.
But this movie's not considered that because it's just an action movie.
Yeah, I
Doesn't
think
make
it
you feel
works.
a lot.
It works for what the movie is going for.
I just think it's a little rushed.
No.
Okay.
I mean, like, this is a fun movie. There's just not a lot of substance to it.
No, but I it's kind of what I want from a Dawn remake. I got the movie with the with the thematically rich script and characters and storyline. If you're gonna remake it, do something different. He's dead. But what you were saying with CGI, and I don't remember if it's in this cut because I haven't watched this cut in like 20 years. But there's a shot later on that has some of the worst CGI in this movie, and we'll see if it's in this cut. I really buy this dynamic.
I do too. It's kind of, this also kind of takes a back seat for a lot of it.
This is where I discover Richard Cheese, who does this cover. I love this cover. I think it's hilarious. And he does a whole bunch of songs like this.
Oh my god.
Have you not heard this?
No.
Oh my god. I'll have to send you some of his other stuff.
Yeah, this is our fun montage. Yeah,
This
okay.
feels like a gun choice.
Yeah. And I like chess, I play chess, but I don't remember like what numbers and letters. Like I can't play chess like this.
No.
This would not work for me.
What do you think of this cover, Hayden?
It's fine.
Oh.
That's a lot of zombies. This is the part where I'm like, wait, who is this blonde lady?
Okay.
I completely forgot about
Okay.
her.
Did you notice the name above the mirror? I never noticed this.
What was it?
Galen Ross. That's the actress that played Franny.
That's cool.
No, I never forget this actress because this is a weird thing to include in this montage.
Well, there's no setup for it. Like, we don't see this guy and her interact at all before. It's just, oh, okay. It's also very vague and unclear how much time is passing.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
this is a fun
I have that with the original too, until a character will say something. Like, especially at the end there where Fran goes, it's been hours since he checked in. It's like, has it?
fine. Nothing to see. I'm just keeping my pregnant wife in quarantine where nobody can see or interact with her.
Gee, I wonder if something's wrong. No, I think what this movie's smart about is if you're gonna have a big cast, you kind of have to do like a tier list. Like these are the most important, and then these don't matter.
Well, and they're mostly pretty stock movie characters. They have like very definable personalities and
Well,
quirks and
it's
stuff
kind of like
that
the
like
original, where it's like the actors are making them feel more alive, depending on the character.
yeah. Well, and I'm not saying this as a criticism, but in the original, that they feel more like real complicated people. Like these are movie characters, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this you get a lot more stock like exposition scenes like this. Like now this character is gonna talk about their backstory.
This whole thing was a choice.
Yeah, and this is the big scene, as far as I know, is much longer in the unrated cut. But you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, Sean.
Yeah,
That's just what I've heard.
yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, this is messed up. I love how the setup with this guy, it's like, no, like, I want to be a good dad. That's my shot at a second chance at life, and this is the most important thing to me. And then you go, oh, God. Maybe it's not worth it if you have to go about it like this, dude.
Yeah. I also remember this had like an online flash game tie-in where you had to like shoot zombies off a fence.
That's awesome.
It was a pain in the ass. Bart, that's the other guy's name.
Bert.
That's Hayden's favorite character so far.
Okay, that time the subtitles said shotgun. Good job, subtitles.
Hayden, are you
Yeah,
alive?
you got it right. No.
That's a classic movie joke. You forgot to turn the safety off. I do appreciate though that while this movie is an action movie, it never forgets that it's also a horror movie, and there are legitimately like unsettling scenes. You couldn't pay me to come down here in the middle of a zombie outbreak.
That's a nope from me, dog. And there's a bit coming up that, for whatever reason, because the first time I watched this movie was years and years ago, like 10 years ago at least, and this is one of the bits that stuck in my memory.
Hayden, who's your favorite character so far?
Probably.
That I mean that's just the correct answer. He's awesome. That
We're talking about
well, he said the cop. There's only one cop.
okay. Well, I couldn't hear what he was saying. But no, Ving Rhames, he's also like the only good part of the Piranha sequel.
Yeah.
Because they bring him back in that, and he's like traumatized from the first movie.
No, it's great. I love how impractical that light he has is. It's like he's holding it like
Yes.
a boombox.
I know. Were these just all the rage in 2004? Who knows? Doggy. Oh God. Yeah, I'll never forget zombie Mr. No Legs. It's great. And this does set up something interesting that in this movie the zombies don't go after animals.
Yeah.
They just go after people. I don't think
All
Bart's
right.
gonna make it.
R.I.P. Bart.
Probably not.
No, but I am really glad that this movie doesn't just like forget about CJ. Because like I said, I do think he becomes one of the best characters by the end.
Well, he's pretty chill about getting locked up for God knows how long that montage was.
Oh, you know, there's bigger issues.
Sure.
So one of the things that is really 2004 about this is the audio mixing. There are certain lines that are just mixed weird. It's hard to describe.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great stunt.
We love fire zombies.
Yeah. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, generators run on gas, yes?
Sometimes.
Fire and gas don't mix.
Says you.
Oh.
That's what Noah's for. He's gonna test that for us.
Oh. Hayden, go test that.
No.
Hayden, zombie baby, yes or no?
I don't want one.
I want it. I mean, I guess it is kind of a blessing that she dies before the ensuing chicanery ensues.
Chicanery.
Because I had misremembered this. I had remembered this scene as like the zombie baby like bursting out of her belly. That's not quite what happens.
No.
Yeah, like that is shit out of Alien. This isn't human anymore. This just went full body horror. Oh God.
Maybe it's time to just cut your losses, dude.
He has a plan.
Yeah, terrible one.
Who are you to judge?
And this actor, I can't think of his name at the moment, but I feel like he was another actor that like Hollywood really tried to push because he was in like this, and I think he's in 8 Mile.
Oh, weird. Only other thing I've seen him in, he is in one episode of Psych, and I recognized him on a rewatch. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh,
I know
okay.
that guy. Do you remember the episodes with Kenan Thompson and Julia White? He's in one of those.
Oh, okay. I think I remember that because like, oh, it's the guy from Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in 8 Mile. I haven't seen that movie
I've never
forever.
seen that.
That movie's kind of sad to watch now because it's got that actress that died in the early 2000s, Brittany Murphy.
Oh,
Mhm.
I think that's one of the last things she was in. Oh, and he's in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the best of them.
he is. I need to watch that again. I mean, we need to do something with that. We
No.
need to share. We need to share Jamaican Jack Black with the world. It's very
Yeah.
important.
It's the best part of that movie.
That's a bad franchise.
It is, but have you seen I Still Know What You Did Last Summer?
No.
Oh, dude, that one's insane.
I love how this lady walks up like, what the fuck is going on?
To be fair, I would also be like, what?
I would just leave. I'd be like, you know what? This isn't any of my business. I'm just gonna go talk to the others.
It's true.
You want to kill my family? Yes. And some of the slow-mo shots here are very Snyder.
Yes.
He's getting a taste for it. You know, when I started this movie, I did not call that these two characters were gonna shoot each other.
Hayden,
in a duel.
the Russian girl, has a small role in Transformers: Dark of the Moon as Russian girl.
Oh, good.
Oh. Glad she has a prolific career. He shot me, man.
Oh, the redhead, Nicole. She is in Wrong Turn, which is a really good movie, like the first one. And then I didn't realize she's in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh.
She's Night Bitch.
Oh.
I haven't seen that
I
movie in a
haven't
minute,
seen
but
Kick-Ass too.
oh, I like that movie more than most people, but oh, and she's in 2 episodes of The Flash
Oh.
as Vanya. I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
I figured Robert might because he's the world's biggest fan of The Flash.
I've seen every episode.
Why?
And I've deleted most of it from my brain.
I stopped after season 5. I couldn't do it anymore.
Dude. For me, it was like watching a train wreck. I couldn't look away.
Season 5 was bad enough. 4 and 5 were kind of rough.
I stopped after 3.
It gets worse. It gets a lot worse.
I started 6 and then I'm like, this blows. I'm done. Godspeed. That's the last stuff I saw.
That upset me because Godspeed in the Rebirth comics is peak, and from what I read, they butchered it.
Yep.
I've never read anything with Godspeed.
Well, he's a newer villain. Like that Rebirth arc is his like first appearance.
Like the Flash Rebirth, or
yeah, when they did the whole DC Rebirth.
Yeah, the 2016.
Oh,
era.
not the Flash Rebirth. The
Rebirth
run of the Flash.
Right.
Yes.
Because I've read.
Damn
Flash
you,
Rebirth,
DC, and your confusing names.
I've read Flash Rebirth, but not Rebirth Flash.
I do love how this is our now we've become monsters scene. Like, okay, some really fucked up shit just happened. I think we should leave.
We're gonna go to the islands. What island? Any island.
The Wisconsin island.
Yeah. That's what makes it even funnier that this is in Wisconsin. Like, what?
I was gonna say Mackinac Island, but that's Michigan.
Some of this dialogue is very Gunn dialogue.
Yes.
Hayden wouldn't know because he can't pay attention. But
I'm
I'm just
I'm
messing.
watching the movie.
I'm just messing. Hayden's freaking out.
I also don't think this movie would look that different if Gunn directed it instead of Snyder, because is Slither Gunn's first movie? Because
That is his
Oh, well,
directorial
his
debut.
first- No, it's Tromeo and Juliet.
okay,
What?
Is his directorial debut.
That doesn't sound right.
Tromeo and Juliet? Yeah, it's his first movie. He co-directed it with Lloyd Kaufman.
Okay, then Slither is his like solo directorial debut.
yeah, and like that is a campier movie than this, but you know there's similar sensibilities. It's like
I do think if
tracks that-
I think if Gunn directed this, it might be a little less serious. Like this movie is funny at parts, but I think it would be more in the tone of like Slither.
but both movies do have like that gross out body horror quality to them.
I saw Slither in theaters and I was like, what the fuck? I love that movie, by the way.
I've only seen it once, so I need to watch it again.
Same.
He's such a dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm warming up on him. Yeah, in here it's like, oh, the girl likes the dog. Okay. I feel like we just kind of jumped to that.
As a writer, it's really funny that Gunn goes Scooby Doo, Dawn of the Dead, Scooby Doo 2, Slither.
Yeah, I mean, they're all of a similar tone. Subject matter.
Quadrilogy.
Yeah, so going by Wikipedia, Hayden, I Slither is considered his directorial debut, and I think that's because it's his first solo job.
No.
Yeah, because Wikipedia lists Lloyd Kaufman as just the director, and James Gunn as an associate director. So I'm guessing he was probably like a secondary. I owned that movie on DVD, by the way, and I never got around to watching it.
Tromeo and Juliet?
Yeah, I found it at Half Price Books.
Hell yeah.
I have seen one scene of that movie where Juliet's like stomach starts to expand, and Romeo goes ugh, and then opens it, and it's just full of popcorn.
Oh.
He starts eating it.
When in Rome.
Ew.
Yeah. So to your point with about the point passage of time, did he just have like food stocked up, and now he's out? Has he been starving this whole time?
Right. Because now he's not doing well.
But I think one of the strong points of this movie's both directing and the script is I don't care when I'm watching it. I'm never bored. I'm not, my mind's not thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, I'm definitely more invested in the original, but
Of course.
that's just different sensibilities,
The original's peak.
Yeah. Well, it is really, really funny that something's gonna happen that I think they probably should have warned Andy about, but oh well.
Yeah.
Hayden, how do you feel about this cockamamie plan?
It's something. I feel like you're trusting a lot that a dog is gonna.
Hey, the dog did his job. The dog did nothing wrong.
Okay, so to be fair, they do try to warn him. He doesn't have his radio.
Yeah, but like they have been coordinating this for a bit though. Like, he had the whistle to attract that.
Right, but he didn't have a radio until just now. He had already went downstairs. They couldn't write on the
Yeah,
board.
but they've been communicating with the whiteboards. I'll get to it. Yeah.
Are you talking about the bites?
Yes.
Okay.
It's just funny that in all the communicating back and forth, they never thought, oh, hey, if a zombie bites you, you're fucked. Just FYI. This is critical need to know information.
Yeah, I don't know.
And there is something darkly funny about this, though, where she's like, did we tell him?
So I unfortunately know people that would do this.
Yes. Well, it's like the Jason X scene when the girl tries to ditch them and then just blows herself up the ship.
Hayden would do this.
No. Probably not.
Oh. Don't say that. Why say that?
Guys, I found the dog.
I found chips. I didn't mean the dog, like Lay's.
This is a great reveal.
What's he writing? Sorry, Andy. Like I said, it's like the movie treats her like a main character, but she's been in the background the whole time.
Okay, but like,
And I don't like
I
her.
don't know what are the characters supposed to do? Oh, you're not a main character. We're just gonna leave you there.
Sure.
Yes.
But like her romance with the security guys, like all off screen, they're just an item now.
I don't know. I think it'd be weirder if they just said, well, you're not main character enough. We're not gonna do anything about this.
I say there are too many side characters in this movie. I think you could have cut or combined
I mean,
two.
I don't disagree, but just with what's here, I think it's fine. Like, it'd be more of a movie to just go, well, you're not important enough to save. We're just gonna leave you there in the gun store that they need supplies from anyway. It is kind of weird that the gun store is like across the street from the mall.
Yeah. Well, again, though, I don't know if malls at this point would carry guns.
Yeah, you're right.
So that probably is more realistic.
Plus, I really like how we get rid of like 75% of this cast here in a few minutes.
And I do like Andy. Like I do like that whole subplot.
Well, no, he's not main character enough for you.
No, he's got. I care more about him than like half the people here.
Oh, don't say that. Hey, Robert, you remember when they made horror movies and there was like night scenes and you could see?
Oh,
What a difference! What a difference from Hellraiser a couple weeks ago.
God, right. And it's funny because Hellraiser, when I was watching it on my own, that wasn't too much of an issue, at least until the third act. And then watching it for the channel was like, oh god, like with all my lights on, like now I can't see anything.
I really need to give that movie another shot, like in the dark.
In the proper. But then watching this movie with the lights on and everything, I can still see it fine.
You know?
It's still well lit. You. I do appreciate the practical blood squibs. This feels like,
Which is going to be really weird in a minute.
yeah. But this is the tail end of that. Like, in just a few years, we're
Oh,
just
don't
gonna
give
be
up
doing
the shotgun.
CGI completely. Mine now. Like, it's really not long after this movie when we go, just make all the blood CGI. It's fine.
Yeah.
I
Because
appreciate the
Robert, one thing you didn't mention though is part of the reason why they're doing this now is they're running low on supplies. They don't have a whole lot of ammo. I don't think malls carried as much food at this time as like they would have in the 70s. So it's more essential like we got to get out of here.
Mhm. Hey Andy, you feeling alright?
Hayden, how do you feel about Andy,
Which one's Andy?
the gun store?
He's the gun store guy.
Yeah, so they definitely that's a little shorter, but in the longer cut, it's a little bit longer. That's really bad head explosion CGI.
Oh.
Oh.
So it's probably better in this cut just because it's so quick.
Yeah. CJ. Oh,
It feels like a different movie has been going on outside because now everything's on fire. It's like, oh god, what did we miss?
that always makes me wince when he gets shoved down the manhole.
Yeah. That's not fun.
Robert, what I'm saying is Snyder was the blueprint. Nolan just stole that later for the Dark Knight. This is a fun sequence where he just carries him and the guy has two guns.
Yes. Two guns, bitch. Kill me. No. Well, thank God Nicole and the dog made it. Yeah, and now, like, this is very Night of the Living Dead. When the guy won't let him in, the door's closed.
But see, it's funny. I think it's funnier here because it's not that he won't let them in. He just got bored and left.
Close the door.
Must go faster. It's so weird watching this because I don't know if it's so we talked over them or they're just scenes that I vividly remember that are missing. Because I know there's a scene when they're in lockup where that old guy like tortures them with stories about how he came out as gay. That's why I was like, he's like the most stereotypical early 2000s character because he just exists. I don't think that's in this cut or we talked over it.
No, it's not.
It's so weird.
No, that all you get is him trying on women's shoes.
Yeah. No, he has this entire speech about at 13 when he started noticing boys. and it's just designed to make the 3 security guards uncomfortable.
Oh, good.
Sure, this will go well. So, John, you are in the camp of thinking that this is Snyder's best movie.
I think at this point I kind of settled on that.
That's probably fair. I definitely have more emotional attachment to something like Watchmen, even if that is probably a more flawed movie than this is.
And I do like Watchmen a lot.
Yeah, I like Watchmen more. Or 300.
300's fine. I think that one's the one that's maybe aged the worst. I don't know. I don't like the way that. Yeah, I don't like the way that movie looks that much.
Yeah, this is very 2004, but not. It's not like horribly dated.
No, you could watch this now and it's just like, oh, it's
Yeah,
weird stylistic movie.
like I said, at least I can see what's happening during the nighttime scenes. That's a positive.
This is great. This is also good. This is going to be the most Snyder shot of all time.
It does not look like he throws it far enough. This looks like it should kill all of them. They should be dead. They should all be dead.
Well, because
It also wouldn't explode that much.
No.
we're also going to get a weird thing where we're going to cut kind of to Dawn here in a second.
Yeah,
Also,
the dead.
I've shot propane tanks with shotguns. That's not what they do.
No. Oh well, I know like this scene in Casino Royale when he shoots the propane tank with like a pistol. It's like, yeah, that wouldn't explode like that in real life.
No, they freeze. They like they'll shoot up in the air and like spin, but they're not gonna explode like that.
Yeah, but you see what I mean? Like, it was pitch black a second ago, and now it's like dawn.
That's the homage to the original film with those hard cuts from night to day. Except here we're doing like a weird middle ground because it's like day for night where everything's blue.
Yeah.
It's weird compromise.
But I like it here where it's day for night. It gives it a little bit of a style. This is amazing.
This is the funniest death.
Hayden looks so unimpressed.
What?
You just were like glaring at the screen like, what the fuck?
No, I'm good.
Does this movie hate women?
No, I like her getting cut in half with the chainsaw. That's peak.
It is really fun. And like I said, she's such a nothing character. Like she bangs Modern Family Guy, and that's it. That is her entire character. And then she gets cut up with a chainsaw.
You just made me think of like a crossover between Modern Family and Family Guy.
I know. Well, earlier I said, what did I say? I was like, I called him the Modern Family Guy, and I was like, oh, that's weird. That didn't sound right.
Lucky there's a Family Guy.
Okay, no.
Yes.
Yes. John, remember in our King Kong commentary when Kyle Chandler, he like ducks behind the corner and the raptor's above him, and you're like, oh, that feels like that's going to be a death scene? This is that scene.
Yeah.
It's the same shot.
Fucking nursery
Freaking
school.
out.
Thank God the one important character survived.
Yeah. They're all dead. It's fine. Let's just go. I am just imagining like all the questions she must have. Like she just looks in there and there's just this massacre with this chainsaw.
I like that that's payoff for that earlier scene.
Yeah. She shoots. Why is everything blue?
Because if it was green, it'd die.
Why are you blue?
This also has that 2000s shaky cam, but it's not too bad.
Yeah, that didn't really become a problem that I remember until Taken, and then everything's doing it.
Yeah, no, Quantum of Solace is another big one.
Well, because I think that's after Taken, no?
Might be the
Taken is
same year.
07? I don't know.
Quantum of Solace is 08. And I like that first Taken movie.
I do too.
Quantum
I
Solace the one
it
that
never.
everyone hates?
There's a couple of them in the Craig era.
That
Yeah.
one, Spectre.
That one, Spectre, the two big ones.
Yeah, the Taken and Quantum are both 08.
No, Taken is great. It did not need sequels.
No, definitely not.
And I think at this point, this is where this is no longer a remake because we're doing our own thing. uh, Stop.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yep. Not CJ.
No. Yeah, and this is another interesting contrast to the first one, where it's a little similar to Flyboy's death, except in the first one, he doesn't go out in a blaze of glory. It's not a big sacrifice. He just dies, and it's brutal. This guy, he gives you that popcorn catharsis of, well, he blowed himself
Well,
up, and that's
and
pretty
this this is one of those remakes where I think justifies standing alongside the original. Like I don't have to pick because I can get a different experience with each one.
cool.
This legitimately got me the first time I watched it. It's like, no! The sad thing of it, though, Robert, because we were talking about different cuts. Even if this is a better cut, I'm gonna watch the unrated version because that's the 4K one. So
Yeah.
you know.
Is this a better cut than the unrated version?
I don't think so because there's only 9 minutes difference, so there's not a huge difference. There's just a couple of things that I think are better off trimmed, like the Andy death. But I'll never watch this version again because it's on a Blu-ray, and I'd rather watch my 4K copy.
See, my eyes really can't tell that big of a difference.
Well, that's because you have a TV from 2007.
Because I have really bad eyesight.
I mean, so do I, and I can tell the difference. But no, I think this is a death that really works, and I always feel bad.
Yeah. It's sad.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Hayden, you're just devastated, I know.
But
She didn't even kiss him. What a bitch.
I feel like that's how you become a zombie, is kissing someone who's infected with zombie.
Well, watch 28 weeks later and you'll see what happens.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, because there's where they use people who died. And I think this is a post-credit scene that works as an ending because if you just stop it, that is a satisfying ending. They just kind of sail off into the sunset, very ambiguous. But then if you keep watching,
John, when you first saw the Suicide Squad when this song kicked in, where you're like, "Oh, the Dawn of the Dead song,"
no.
or do you just...
So I actually had it the other way around because I hadn't seen this in a while, and then I watched it after the Suicide Squad came out. I was like, wait a minute, I forgot this was in here.
Those are people who died.
I do think this works better as a post credit or as the credit song or the
Oh,
end
yeah.
credits.
No, I like it.
I don't think this would have worked as well with the opening credits.
Oh, and Johnny Cash's peak.
That's true.
This also feels like there's this whole other movie he shot that we're only getting snippets of. It's so bizarre.
Well, there was a long. I don't know if you know this, but they were going to do a sequel to this, and that was going to be called Army of the Dead.
Oh.
That's why I was like, when they first announced it, I was like, is he making a sequel to Dawn of the Dead? Like this many years later? Apparently, Romero did not like this movie.
What?
Oh.
Romero did not like this movie.
Oh no.
Oh, I didn't realize that Heather Langenkamp was one of the effects artists on this.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah,
She does
her,
effect. Her husband does effects.
her and her husband, yeah.
I know they did Cabin in the Woods, but that's the only one I can.
Oh, nice. Oh my god.
Yeah, so they're all dead, right? Like,
Yeah, it's still kind of ambiguous, but realistically, yeah, they're all probably dead.
Oh, what? We love the 2000s.
Yeah.
Down with the sickness.
I unironically love this song.
No, I like that. I like Disturbed anyway.
I don't know if I ever told you, Hayden, but that was my first metal album.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it like when it came out.
I like Disturbed.
I like them. I feel like they kind of lost their uniqueness after that first album, and then they just kind of became a generic metal band.
Well, and they are like the poster boys of all of their songs sound alike.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying is I think that first album has a really unique sound to it. And then starting with their second album, they switched to more of a generic sound. And that's what the rest of their catalog will sound like.
Yeah, it's all kind of the same.
Tyler says, I made it back from the theater. What'd you
my
see?
God.
And it's so funny because I feel like you just picked this song because it sounds like a virus song. That's not what this song is about.
No.
Robert, do you know what this song is about?
What's the song about, John?
It's about child abuse from the perspective of the abused child.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Child abuse is cool, Robert 2025.
yeah.
It's just a kid. I don't know.
Well,
Whoa.
we're not even going to go there. Well, that was Dawn of the Dead 2004. Hayden, what'd you think?
Well, I liked it. I think I would have liked it more had we not just watched the original.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's the
those
problem.
those two don't. These two don't. You don't binge
That's
them.
that's the problem with this whole series we do is like we always end up watching a better movie. Well, most of the time we watch a better movie first, and then
Yes.
by the end of the second one, I'm like, all right,
You should have been there when we did the Blob.
oh god,
We barely got through the original.
Yeah, I will say though, Hayden, for me that was more of an issue with Fright Night,
yes,
where
I had the, yeah, it was
where
way worse with
I
Friday.
was comparing them a lot more constantly throughout it, and I was like, yeah, this is just like it's fine, but it's not as good. This is so different from the original that wasn't as much of an issue, but I get where you're coming from.
I
It
had
is
that
different.
more
I
with Friday Night.
and I like this movie. I feel like I need to give it time and then watch it again.
Yeah,
Watch it until
See
you
where
have
I'm
the
at.
correct opinion.
I said it was good. I just needed a
No,
little bit.
it's-
And by the end, I was like, all right, wrap it up.
What? So Hayden, which ending do you prefer? Them sailing off or the credit stuff?
I don't know. I feel like with the zombie movie, I always prefer a more downer ending.
If you're watching after the fact, we appreciate it, and we will be back with more commentaries and reviews soon. And hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already.